Hello YouTube, it's Rom from Ramen Noodles TCG, and today I finally have my Monarch deck profile for you. So, if you saw my last stream, you know that I've been playing Monarch a lot recently. I started with Hanko Chow's list, that was what beat me at Pittsburgh, and ever since I lost to him, I've really been thinking about Monarch as a deck and how it can perform well in Genesys format. So before I talk about my list, I want to quickly discuss my new sponsor, myself. So I've been selling cards on TCG Player for ages, kind of on and off. I don't have a lot of cards on here, but I'll be listing more and more stuff in the next couple weeks. So if you want to support the channel and get some cool cards for yourself, I'd appreciate it if you checked out my store at the link in the description. Now back to the deck profile. So, Monarch. Monarch is a deck that was one of the Yu-Gi-Oh's first archetypes, released back in 2004 with, I believe it is Zaborg. Zaborg the Thunder Monarch. This is the original Monarch monster, along with Thestalos, who was also from 2004. But this deck has had a lot of support coming in over the years. Caius being one of the notable ones, released back in, I believe, 2008. And Monarchs have just been seeing play throughout the course of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, just with the level 6 guys. And then they finally got some level 8 guys in 2016 in the Monarch structure deck. So now Monarch has some new support out of Duelist Advance that adds more layers of depth to the strategy. So let's talk about the new support. So Tessera is the new Squire. Monarch is split into the Monarchs and the Squires. The Squires are what help you tribute summon the Monarchs. So Tessera, as the new Squire, is able to summon itself by showing a Monarch spell trap from your hand, and then gives you an extra tribute summon. And then upon being sent to the graveyard, it summons another Squire from the deck. So we're playing 3 of this because it's the best Squire, and we are actually now able to cut down on some of the other Squires, playing only 2 of the other main ones. So because this has a special summoning condition and summons other Squires, we are able to save all of our normal summons for the Monarchs themselves, which dramatically increases our ceiling. So 3 Tessera, we're playing 2 Edea. Edea is the old main normal summon of the deck that was from the 2016 structure deck. It summons a Squire from deck, and when sent to the graveyard, it adds back a banished Monarch spell trap. So Squidos is what you were usually summoning off of Edea back in the day. It gives you an extra tribute summon, and it lets you summon back a Squire from your graveyard by banishing itself. So using these 3, we have a nice resource loop of tributing guys. We are only playing 2 of these because, again, we don't want to be normal summoning them. As for the other Squires, they are important for the hand loop combo, which I'll talk about later. So for the new Monarch, we have Eidos, the Underworld Monarch. This is also Eidos. That's why I call him Squidos, because he's the Squire Eidos. So Eidos is an incredible card. It searches any of your Monarch spell traps or 8 Monarch monsters. It doesn't search the level 6s. Not only that, but it has an ability to special summon itself, which is pretty good for the grind game, and it's important for some of your combos. So this Eidos also has an attribute modulating effect, which is pretty important for the hand loop combo, which I will discuss. So we're playing 3 of this. We're playing 3 Erebus and 2 Ether for our level 8 Monarch lineup. So Erebus is the main boss from the 2016 Monarch structure deck. It is part of the hand loop combo, and it sets up your graveyard. So does Ether. So these 2 set up your graveyard, which is important because a lot of the Monarch spells and traps have graveyard effects. So you need these to set up your graveyard. Summons a level 6 Monarch from the deck, but it This effect is very interesting. It summons a level 6 Monarch from the deck. There are a bunch of different targets for this that were played back in the day. Note Kuraz, the Light Monarch. This was the main target back in the day. There was also Celiglare. This guy, Celiglare. Celiglare is a monarch, an honorary monarch. It's Snatch Steal. We don't need either of these. Basically, the new target for this is Eidos. So because it triggers on special summon, you get this for more resource generation. That's why Ether isn't as good as Erebus because it's not like it doesn't loop the hand, it doesn't remove things from the field. Just non-target shuffling is a powerful form of removal. That's why we play three of this and two of this. Some people like less Ether, some people like more. The Hanko Chalice was playing three Ether for consistency, but I don't think we need three Ether. For the level 6 Monarchs, we are playing one Caius, one Ryza, and two Thestalos. We're playing two Thestalos for the hand loop combo. You need two to loop this properly. I'll talk about the loop when we get to Master Plan, because that is the main enabler for this. But yeah, Thestalos is broken. That's why we're even citing a third one, so we can bring it in going first. Ryza and Caius are great utility. Being able to put cards on top of your opponent's deck sets them back a turn, which is very, very good for winning in grind games. And Caius is a dark, which is very important, and it's banishing removal, which is very powerful. Now, the main meat of the Monarch deck is the Monarch spell cards. We have Pantheism for draw power and searching. We have Stormforth and Strike to break boards. This lets you tribute over your opponent's monsters. This doesn't work on unaffected monsters, but it lets you tribute over your opponent's monsters. Strike is a negate that helps you break boards. We're also playing Forbidden Droplet as a fifth breaker. Droplet's really good in this deck because we're pretty spell dense, and you can also discard your bricks, which is kind of important here. The Monarch's Revolt is part of the wave of support from Duelist Advance. This is incredible consistency for the deck. Being able to pitch a card to reveal three monsters, including Monarchs and Squires, that you get to add one from your deck to your hand and then send the rest to the graveyard. Your opponent picks, but generally, no matter what your opponent picks, you should be able to combo. You're usually grabbing either Tessera, Eidos, or Erebus, some combination of these. You never reveal multiple Eidos because this gets itself back from the graveyard. Usually it's like two Tessera and an Eidos, or some number of Erebus, Tessera, and Eidos. These are like the main guys you want to get. But if you have everything, you can sort of pick between the other monarchs. That's why the Hanko Chalice was playing three Thestalos, so you could revolt for triple Thestalos. I thought that was a bit greedy, so I cut Thestalos down to two and moved the third one to the side deck. The Monarch's master plan is essentially Foolish Burial for Monarchs. This is really good as like a last ditch effort play. But the main thing about this card is that it is this second effect. So essentially, if we talk about the Prime Monarch banishes a Monarch spell trap from the graveyard and then summons itself. This will trigger the effect of Master Plan. Master Plan will then target a monster on the opponent's field, and then search a level 6 Monarch, and then tribute summon one of the original 6 Monarchs. Well, except Delg, but we don't talk about Delg. Ignore Delg. So this is how the hand loop goes. We use Tessera to summon Garum. Garum will search Mithra. Mithra will give the opponent a token. We modulate the token to a fire, and then we use Master Plan targeting the fire token, and then tribute summon Thestalos. So in total, we have 4 tribute summons. We have the one tribute summon from Tessera. We have our regular tribute summon, a regular normal summon, excuse me. The extra tribute summon from Squidos, excuse me. The extra tribute from Squidos, and then the 4th tribute summon from Master Plan. So this is 4 tribute summons, if we don't have to spend our normal on a square. So with these 4 tribute summons, we can use Erebus and Thestalos to loop the opponent's hand by picking cards out of the hand, shuffling with Erebus, and discarding with Thestalos. If your hand is good enough, you can loop 4 cards out of your opponent's hand, and then during the draw phase, you can do the Prime Monarch Banishing Master Plan again to loop a 5th card. This is the strongest part about this deck is just being able to resolve the hand loop. I have some replays that show that, and yeah, it's very, very strong. So because this searches different attributes worth of monarchs, that's why we're playing the Mobius in the side. This is for the Draco Tail matchup. We can use Master Plan to search Mobius by targeting Gulamel and then popping the Draco Tail back row. Yeah. And then we have Tenacity as a searcher and Domain as the big floodgate. So this is why we're not playing an extra deck, because we can lock her up on our Domain. And also, a lot of this stuff locks you out of the extra deck. Tessera, Adia, they both lock you, and Mithra as well. So yeah, that's the main deck there. In the side deck, we're playing the Thestalos for going first, Mobius for Draco Tail. We're playing Spell Card Soul Exchange. This is to out unaffected monsters. We are playing 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 2 copies of Evenly Matched, 3 Nibiru, and a Ghost Bell, and 2 DD Crow. So the reason I went with 2 Evenly and 6 hand traps is because we can use Pantheism's trade-in effects to try to deep draw into our board breakers that'll help us crack the board. Whereas if you deep draw and try to find hand traps, well, that's not going to help you because your opponent's already set up the board. So the reason we're playing Bell as the final 5 points is because it's a generic defensive hand trap, whereas something like Droll, if you just play Droll as a one-of, it's not really going to accomplish a whole lot because you're not going to see it much. But Bell, like when you see it, it is going to be like you just side this in going first almost every time to protect yourself from DD Crow, which is a mainstay of the format. So yeah, that is the deck. Let's get into some replays. So the first replay I have here is against Onomot. This is against a fellow named Lucky90. We're going to go first. We are going to begin with normal summon Adia for Squido. So maybe we could have done Revolt for Tessera, thinking back on it. I kind of wanted to save the Revolt for later. I wanted to try to not play into Droll. That was the idea. So now we go Tessera from hand. This is a little bit of a different sequencing here. So we're going to Revolt now. Yeah, our opponent gives us the Garum, which is probably actually not the right choice, because we get to use the Garum. So we're going to go Tessera effect on field for Ether, summoning Eidos for Tenacity. We're going to Pantheism here for Master Plan, because we want to get Master Plan in rotation, right? That's the whole idea with this line. So we're going to Erebus here, discard the Master Plan. We're going to Garum, bounce the Ether, because that's, follow-up, right? So we're going to grab Domain off of the Tenacity. We're going to Erebus loop for 1. Erebus 1, Garum 2, Adia 3, Eidos 4. So we're going to get Pantheism back. We're going to get Mithra. So now we have the Mithra online, right? So we're going to dump, we're going to shuffle, we're going to Mithra give the guy a token, we're going to make the token a fire, and we're going to Prime Monarch, we're going to Master Plan for Thestalos, we're going to Thestalos Tribute, knock a card out of the hand. We're going to activate Domain, we're going to resolve Ether in end phase to get the Eidos back. So yeah, now we can loop our opponent for another card in draw phase, and that is going to be game. So, our Onomot opponent is going to be going first. Now, Lucky90 has an interesting combo in mind, and I kind of wanted to show this off. So he's going to go for Gugu Goblinberg into Onomata Kage. This is pretty normal stuff you're going for. Gaga Girl, going for Gagaga Utopia Tactics, which is interesting. So, Goblinberg will pick up Dodo Warrior. Dodo Warrior will send Dodo Dwarf Gugu Glove. Dodo Dwarf Gugu Glove will summon Zubababa Ganbara Knight, going for ZS Ascended Sage. Sorry, Utopic Sage into Ascended Sage. Going to get triggers here to search Zubababan Chacho Gekakot and Utopic Onomatopoeia. Going to go for Draco Future to insulate his combo. We're going to summon out the code here, going for Prime Mathematic Ambition for Astraltopia. So this is pretty normal stuff that we see from Onamount all the time. But this is where things get a little interesting. So obviously, getting the Unbreakable Exceeds barrier, standard stuff here. Going for Gaga Utopic Tactics to make these guys level 10. Going to overlay for Varudris. I thought this is pretty spicy. I like this as an end board. Um, I'm not sure how good it is, but it's saucy. I like the sauce that this guy has going on here. So we're going to watch this guy set 4, and then we're going to try to play through the board. So unfortunately, this guy is going to negate with Varudris. This negates activation. So maybe I could have tried to pitch something else, but if I tried to pitch something else and try to activate the Revolt again, I have to discard too many cards. Like, this just isn't enough. So, all right. We're going to master plan here. So we can master plan to try to Caius something. That's the idea anyway. But that's going to get hit with Dracotail Flame. We're going to Stormforth over the Draco Future, trying to banish the Varudris. We cannot do that. And then our opponent is going to normal summon Utopic Onomatopoeia. We are going to try to Ether here and get hit with the Gravedigger's Trap Hole. So now we're going first again, and now we can try to combo through a hand trap. So we're going to Revolt here for Tessera, Eidos. Our opponent correctly gives us the Eidos. We're going to Tessera for Adia, for Garum. We're going to go for Ether here. We're going to play around Skullmeister like a boss here by going Ether is Chainlink 2, getting ourselves... we forgot to get our Garum search. So we're going to Garum search Eidos, Squidos, excuse me. And then we're going to Eidos search Erebus. Our opponent probably should have waited for the Prime Monarch, but probably is scared of the Erebus here. So maybe that was okay. But I think the opponent knows that we can keep playing here. So we're going to use the Squidos to summon the Erebus here. We can now send another Pantheism. I'm going to go trigger Eidos with Chainlink 2, sending Pantheism Master Plan, loop a card. Pantheism for Tenacity. This is how we get Domain. We're going to Squidos for Tessera Effects. For Thestalos, we're going to grab ourselves a copy of Domain, and then our opponent's going to quit. Because this guy cannot beat Domain. So yeah, I mean, this is just the Monarch gameplay loop. Now, before you're bored to sleep or seething at the hand loops, let me show you the sauce. So this deck is actually really good going second, surprisingly. Now, in order to demonstrate this, I want to share a replay against Dragon Rulers. So for our replay against Dragon Rulers, we're going to lose the RPS and go second here. So we're up against a Luldamar, who's going to open all gas here, as is typical for Rulers. Going to go for Stream and then Thunder 5 for Pile Armed Dragon here, getting all set up here. Pile Armed Dragon, triggering 3 for a draw. Going to Pile once again, grabbing Thunder 5 off of the 7. Going for Shazma for a Tempest Search to get Red Rose Dragon. Very good stuff here. Pretty standard Dragon Ruler fare, but yeah, so going for Return 0, getting Rocks Rose, Basil Shoot, the stuff. Going to make Dispater here. Going to make, so this is the end board, right? Ishazma, Return 0, Changing, and Dispater. That's one hell of an end board, right? So if we check our opponent's graveyard, this guy has 4 negates, Fire, Dark, Wind, and Water. Now, unfortunately for us, we're actually playing a lot of those attributes right, but notably, this guy lacks a light in the graveyard. So, because this guy lacks a light in the graveyard, we can use that to try to break the board. So we're going to go to main phase 1. We're going to think for a long time how to tackle this board, right? Because Dissipator doesn't have a negate online, it has destruction online, right? Because only our opponent has banished cards. Changing is going to be a problem if we don't get rid of it. Genix Return 0 is also going to be a problem if we don't get rid of it. Shazma is a multifaceted threat because the Shazma can not only be a pop off of Blaster, but if we Stormforth Tribute over something, then the Shazma can just bring it back with Redox. So we have to be very careful with how we play this here. So we're going to start with the Monarch's Revolt, discarding Eidos here, going for Erebus and Ether. So if our opponent gives us an Ether, that's like extra follow-up. Also, it's a light monster, which is uniquely good in this situation, because, this is It can't negate lights. So our opponent's going to give us an Erebus. Um, yeah, so going to give us the Erebus. We're going to Stormforth. We think long and hard what to Stormforth over, but then we realize, oh wait, I can Tessera because there's no light, right? So Tessera here, get a Tessera effect. So we tribute over the Changying. We go Erebus Chainlink 1, Tessera Chainlink 2. No Eidos Chainlink 3. I want to save the Eidos for later. So going for this here, going to shuffle the return 0 back into the deck to get rid of the negate. So going to Edea for Squaidos here. We're going to Squaidos into Caius. Caius banish the Dissipator. We probably should have triggered the we definitely should have triggered the Eidos Engrave. I think I just forgot about it. It's a little unfortunate here because, yeah, that is a little unfortunate. Because now we can't do exactly how we want here. I think if we had done the Squaidos, we actually might have killed this guy. But we're still able to break the board. So we go Pantheism for Master Plan here. So now we can use the other Erebus, discarding the Master Plan, grab back the Erebus. Now we can Erebus Tribute Summon, chain blocking with Eidos and Edea. Our opponent's going to um, Shazma pop the Erebus. We're going to Eidos here for. We're going to grab Ether here. So the idea behind Ether here is that it's going to give us another opportunity to use the Stormforth. Because we can Stormforth over our opponent's monster on his turn, right? That's the whole idea. So we're going to Caius here. We're going to punch in for some big damage here, as one does. We're going to get another piece of tribute material active. Our opponent's going to Basil Rose Shoot, grabbing Red Rose Dragon, going for Lightning. So our opponent has a lot of stuff here. So this is getting a little bit funky, right? So we let our opponent go for return 0. I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but yeah. Gonna go for Tempest here. So grabbing Spectral. So at this point, um, well, let our opponent resolve 5. So at this point, Spectral is in the hand. He's got the return 0 up. If I want to activate this Ether here, it's a light monster. So I got to do it before he discards the Spectral, right? So I have to Stormforth here. So we Stormforth here. We chain Ether here, tributing over the Caius and the return 0. Getting an Eidos Search for follow-up. Going for Spectral here, bring back some, grabbing Nebulas and Redox. So I think I maybe should have done something here, or sorry, Blaster. I should have done something here. So I think I should have done something here to try to snipe the Nebulous out of hand, because right now I do have a loop on standby here. Not on standby, but you know what I mean. A loop at the ready. So I go for Thestalos here. This was obviously a mistake, because it's not good enough, right? Because I get some add backs, right? I get rid of the super rejuve, but I actually do not have an out to disaster. I forgot to banish for Erebus, right? So we're kind of in tough straits here. We have 4,600, and we actually cannot out this because Stormforth does not beat unaffected monsters. So we kind of just spin our wheels for like 10 minutes and then die. So yeah, I'm not an amazing Monarch player. I'm not Hanko Chow, but I am pretty good. I did crack that board, which I think was pretty impressive. So yeah, we scoop it up and go first. So now we go for Tessera here. Tessera effect, looping 1. Um, we go Edea here for Garam. We get to go Tenacity, grabbing Revolt. Revolt, discarding Eidos. We get to go for Erebus here. We go Erebus 1, Garam 2, grabbing Mithra here. Eidos 3, looping another. We go Eidos Search. We go Mithra, Pantheism for Master Plan here. Now we get back the Erebus. We go Mithra here. We go Eidos here, make this fire. We do the thing, we get Thestalos, Tribute, 1, 2. So now we do get the extra Tribute summon. So fire. Then we go Erebus. Yeah, so we loop for 5 here. Yeah, our opponent scoops it up because, you know. loop for 5. So our opponent goes for Steam here into title, just doing combos, pretty nifty combos here, ruler things, just ruler things, right? So going for ruler stuff, blaster, not a particularly great line, unfortunately, for our opponent, having to use up a lot of resources here. Um, I think on res here. So I see my opponent has searched 2. Um, at this point, I know my opponent's entire hand. It is Steam, Armed level 7, and Basil Rose Shoot. So at this point, I do believe that the opponent's going to have to go for Shazma to make any more plays. So um, at this point, if I drop Nib, I don't think he has anything. So um, yeah, I Nib. He doesn't. He goes Dissipator here to destroy the Nib. So it destroys the Nib. There's no token, but um, yeah, there's no token, but we top deck Revolt. So yeah, that is game over. For our last replay, we're going to play against Little Wingard, playing Vanquish Soul. So we completely brick here. Oh, this is a really nice tech, actually. Holy crap, this guy's playing Link Apple. I freaking love this card. This is kind of goated. Wait, this is the sauce. If you're playing Vanquish Soul, absolutely try Link Apple. This card is crazy. Anyway, um, yeah, so our opponent goes for we completely brick, by the way. This is the Monarch issue, right? Um, yeah, our hand was unplayable. But now we get to have a playable hand and we get to do some gaming here. So we're going to go for Adia, for Tessera. We're going to go for Eidos here, searching Revolt. Pretty poggers indeed. So we're going to Revolt here, pitch Prime. Going to grab Erebus. Revolt, summon Squidose. We use the Squidose to tribute summon. Not chain blocking. Uh, Failing to play around Skullmeister because I'm not that guy. Mithra here. So notice that Mithra and Idas do not stack, which is pretty important here to make note of. So we go for Pantheism, going for Master Plan, we're going to Prime, we're going to Master Plan for Thestalos. Thestalos, grab back the Pantheism, because Pantheism is goaded. We're going to Pantheism draw some cardboards. Top decking Caius. So we're just kind of waiting on this guy to get some attributes here. Going for Raisin for Borger. All right, so grabbing a Sue, this kind of crazy. So we see he has the Borger, right? So we got to be very careful at the way we play this. So our opponent goes for Shart on the thing. So we cannot. Well, obviously our opponent, Prime Monarch is still. We don't have any plays, right? Is what I'm trying to say. So we just kind of have to let our opponent spin his wheels here. We're gonna Caesar for the Sue. Our opponent's gonna crack our board. Let's see how we can manage from here. We're going to Stormforth here. Going to Erebus. We're going to tribute over the Caesar Valius, sniping the Sioux. Our opponent's going to draw a card. Yeah, and then we can just kind of crack the board from there. So now we have to go second into Vanquish Soul. Our opponent's going to read Genesys Code, doing things. So, yeah. Gonna go for Raisin into Borger. Good shit. Good shit. So we're going to Pantheism. So from this position, if we go Tenacity and the opponent negates the Tenacity, we lose the game on the spot. So we have to Pantheism here. So our opponent negates our Pantheism draw. We do get to search, though, so we get to grab Stormforth. So we're going to Stormforth. Our opponent's going to chain Borger. We are going to Adia here, get Squidos. We're going to tribute over to the Squidos. Going for Adia, just Monarch things. So I don't know if I should have shuffled the code back in or not. This is kind of rough. We do get to target the Regenesis Warrior. And we do get to, even though our opponent bounces it so we don't get the search, we do get to draw some cardboards. Drawing cards is always pretty good. So we're going to spell card Soul Exchange, which does give us an extra tribute summon, which is pretty cool. Our opponent's going to tribute summon over our guys for Caesar Vallius. We're going to Tessera for revealing master plan. We're going to grab back the Erebus. The correct line of play is to we shuffle back. We think long and hard here. We shuffle back the Raisin. So from this position, I forget to target the Caesar Vallius with Eidos, um, because what we need to do here is we need to like prime Monarch, right, and snipe something um, with the Caesar Vallius. So I guess from this position, we could probably like call Dark and then Caius. Yeah, for some reason I didn't consider that. Or I think we already primed here is the issue. Yeah, we already used prime, but now because we didn't do it like this, we could have gone for Thestalos in the draw phase. But it didn't matter. We're just dead here, I think. Yeah, so we're just kind of in trouble. We can try to Ether here, end of main. We get saged, and then we've been outgrown by Vanquish Soul. Unfortunately, gonna go for Prime here, and yeah, I mean we're just losing at this point. There's really not a whole lot we can do, but we're trying here. I'm gonna go for Stormforth, Sage. Gonna try here. Chain blocking the Eidos, kind of cool. Get to grab a second Stormforth. Try to do some stuff. We go Prime here. Master plan, and we get to declare with Stormforth. We get the tribute summon, tribute, banish the sage. So it looks like we're making progress, but we're actually not making any progress at all, because Monarch is very grindy, but Regenesis Vanquish Soul is also incredibly grindy, and we're just kind of out of resources at this point. Yeah, this deck is really good, by the way. So yeah, we're just kind of trying to spin our wheels here. Gonna get Revolt. Gonna, do stuff. Erebus effect. I mean, we're just kind of spinning our wheels. We're dead here. We're like uber giga dead. Yeah, Sage negate and we're dead. But yeah. Um, this is that was that match. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Um, I'd really appreciate if you left a like if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing to the channel for more Genesis content. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.